under the bright lights, Ricky Hatton was known as the Hitman, but here in his home city of Manchester, I think his other nickname is more appropriate, the People's Champion. And I think so much of that route, the cortege, will pay homage to the fact that he was Manchester's very own. It's there going past the Cheshire Cheese pub, which is in Hyde, where he was from, where he was so visible. That's one of his locals where people would see him and drink with him. And then along that journey, there will be significant moments in his career also honoured, including the fact that it will go past, as Jackie was saying there, the AO Arena, then the MEN Arena, where he won his first world title in 2005. And then along the way back after the service, which will take about an hour, we'll have eulogies, including from the Dean of Manchester, as well as Adam Smith, a well-known boxing commentator from our very own Sky Sports. And then on the way back, in tribute to the fact that he was a dyed-in-the-wall Manchester City fan, the cortege will head towards the Etihad Stadium, making the journey back out towards that part of Manchester. There, we know that there will be a private wake, but I think so much of that will be the focus on the fact that Manchester City was such a part of him. When he fought Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, he would come out to Blue Moon, the Manchester City song. It's an Elvis song, but Manchester City used that as their song as well, and he would fight bringing Manchester with him, which is why I think so much of today is focused on the city of Manchester and what he meant to them. And there are so many little vignettes about how he would bring his fighting heritage to Manchester. One of those that I was reading over the last few days was the fact that before he fought Manny Pacquiao in 2009, he took him to a pub in Hyde and they played darts together, him and this all-time great champion playing darts. Just a reminder of the kind of the laddish persona that Ricky Hatton had, the fact that he was down to earth to the last, even when fighting in places like Vegas for world titles with millions of pounds or dollars up for grabs, and so much honour and heritage more deeply related to the sport of boxing. He was always a Mancunian at heart, and I think that's why today will be so Manchester focused. And I'm just watching some pictures. I've got a monitor and I'm watching pictures of the cortege moving slowly through Manchester and making that journey. And another stop along that journey will be the pub that his mum and dad used to own. And in that pub, they actually built him a gym. They built him a gym in which he could pursue his career and begin kind of training and working towards his dream of becoming a professional fighter. Another Manchester-related Ricky Hatton fact is the fact that he watched Nigel Benn and Chris Eubank fight at Old Trafford in the 90s, and that was one of the moments that ignited his love for boxing and ignited his desire to become a professional boxer as well. So like I say, this route, the cortege, will be weaving in to Ricky Hatton's so closely connected personal history to Manchester over the course of the morning and then the afternoon.
And Shingi, we're looking at the pictures now as that cortege makes its slow and steady way through those streets of Manchester. And we can see there on the back of that pickup truck, we can see a yellow Reliant Regal. Ricky Hatton owned one of these cars, famously similar to the one used in the TV show Only Fools and Horses. In fact, he bought one of the two backup vehicles, I'm told, used for that show, which he had later restored. So that's why you're seeing that there as part of that funeral procession. And it looks like rather kind of sombre weather there, rather appropriate for the mood as everybody turns out to line the streets and pay their respects. And he's just going past another pub now. And Shingi, it's interesting the number of places that this route is taking in. It's pubs where he's been known by locals and where he's spent so much time chatting to people in his local area, but also gyms where he's trained and places, as Jackie was saying, where he's fought as well.
Yeah, exactly. And as you say, his love of Only Fools and Horses there, denoted by the van on the back of that pickup truck. And I've actually joined by a guest who will be eulogising Ricky Hatton later on at that service at Manchester Cathedral, the Dean of Manchester, Rogers Govender. Thank you very much for joining me. I just first of all wanted to ask how you're feeling about this moment and this chance to pay tribute to Ricky Hatton.
Well, firstly, it's a huge privilege for the cathedral to be hosting this service, and a huge privilege for me to be presiding at this service. Very sad for the family, obviously, and very sad day for our city where so many thousands have been in awe of Richard's life and all that is given to them. So a sad day in every way for people in this city today.
And you mentioned the city and people in awe of his life. In your position as Dean, just tell us what you've learned about how much he meant to this place.
I think one of the things I've learned is that he was a very down-to-earth person, never refused the request for an autograph, always available to people. And it is said that nobody said a bad word about him. Not something that one often says about a boxer, I suspect. But everything about Rich's life, I know his fans know him as Ricky, everything about him seems to be so positive. And it is a joy to embrace that, to hear that, and to celebrate that later in the service today.
I don't know if you ever met him. If you did, do you have any memories? If not, do you have any memories that have been passed to you?
I've not met him personally, but I have watched a number of matches, boxing matches on telly, and they're all very entertaining and very encouraging in every way for Manchester, no doubt, because he certainly put Manchester boxing on the world map, and that is something we can be very proud of.
And lastly, if you could, just give us a sense as to what you'll be saying in your eulogy. What will you be reflecting on and trying to articulate?
My colleague Canon Grace Thomas is going to be preaching the sermon this morning. I think the eulogies will certainly speak about his professional career, the way he's inspired the city, the way he's inspired young people in particular, and continues to inspire them through the boxing academies and so on. I think for me, it'll be very much about the family. He was a family man, his mum and dad will be here, and no parent should be burying their children. And so I will be thinking very much about the family today, and praying for them and wishing them healing in the days to come, because a great loss for them as a family is children's granddaughter. They are very much in my thoughts today in a very particular way.
Thank you very, very much for your time. I really appreciate that, your sentiments and your thoughts about the service that is to come, and also what Ricky Hatton meant to Manchester. And there he also mentioned his family and the fact he was a family man first, not just a boxer. So we know that his parents will be here, his dad Ray, his mum Carol, as well as his son Campbell, who will be eulogizing him as well. Campbell went on to become a professional boxer as well, retiring this year actually. So I think all of that will be part of the service, and all of that will be reflected on the fact that he meant a lot to this community, but he also meant so much to his family, who will be here at the cathedral for that service, which starts at 12 o'clock. Right now, the cortege is making its way through Manchester in preparation for that moment, those moments of reflection on the life of Ricky Hatton.